Okay. Okay, I got cut off because my dog ripped the modem out of the wall. Ah. No, take that out. Take that out. Take that out. Ah. This is the day. These are how the days go. So, I had to go and investigate what happened, so I'm not even sure where I was or what I was talking about. I mean, I know I was talking about the GameStop and the what was going on with that, with Robinhood and all those things. I'm not exactly sure. What else? Okay. Well, okay. Well, it almost felt like I was being banned again. Let's see. Yeah. It almost felt like I was being banned again, but oh, how we all important. Thank you, Pamela. Thank you. Yes, we are all important. And I don't like the fact that they're treating us like, the government is more important than we are, we the people. And I really hope that more people get involved. I know BCP's been talking a lot about getting more involved in your local legislation and getting into, we need more of us little people to get into positions in Congress and in order to make any real changes. I think it's so important because we are literally all in the same boat right now. We're all in the same boat together. There is no racism, sexism, toxic masculinity. There is delusion. There's a whole lot of delusion that is creating a whole lot of chaos. It wasn't Trump that created it. It was progressive liberals who created the chaos. They're saying that President Trump incited violence, yet they won't look at themselves and see how they've promoted violence for the last 5 years, and now they're calling for unity. Their idea of unity is toxic. What they want, they don't want, the reason why it's toxic is because they don't want unity, they want conformity. They want us all to conform to what they see as right. And we see that with all of the censorship that's going on. Now, in fact, I was banned on Facebook, and this is another reason why I hadn't come on here in a while, besides just taking care of the baby and making sure my milk supply wasn't going to dry up. I bit off more than I could chew at the time, but I got banned off Facebook with no explanation. And I know a lot of conservatives did. The Facebook went all in. They did a mass banning of people. And I believe it happened, oh gosh, because I had actually posted the day I got banned. I posted twice, and it was just pictures of my my baby. And let's see, what day was that? That was January 18th. So yeah, it was 10 days. Okay, so this was 2 days before inauguration. So that's really what this was all about, was they didn't want us commenting on and bringing down their inauguration day. That's really what this was all about. I didn't watch the inauguration. I would never have watched. I mean, I didn't care to see any of that craziness going on. But I had posted twice that day. They were just pictures of my kids. And then all of a sudden I went to post a third time. And it actually, I think it was probably something controversial. And I noticed that I was banned until the 26th. So they banned me for 8 days, 6 days past the inauguration, with no explanation, and then also in Messenger saying that I had posted something in Messenger that went against their community standards. The problem with that is, there is no privacy out there. They're reading our chats, they're reading our messages to each other, and this isn't even on a public forum. This is in the the private. This is in the private chat section, and you're still being able to be banned for whatever you post in there, which is odd. But that's just the thing. They want conformity. They want you to do what they want you to do. Mike Lindell has been banned off Twitter, you know, and that's another thing. He's a rags to riches story. You know, he used to use drugs. His life was not good. He had to grind and he had to work his tail off to get where he is now. And because he is where he is now and he is in support of President Trump, and I'll continue to call him President Trump, he gets banned not only off of platforms, but out of stores. He can't even sell his product in stores, you know. So this is a big deal. And as far as I'm concerned, Mike Lindell is considered one of the little guys because he worked his way from the dirt to where he is now. And I don't see anything wrong with that. That's what we should all, that's the beauty of capitalism, you know. We all need a pillow to lay our head on, and he happens to make really great pillows. I don't know. I don't have one. I might buy one now, you know, but where can I buy it? Because this is what's starting to happen now. And I think, you know, Parler, the destruction of Parler, what Apple and Google did with Parler set a precedent for not just cancel culture. This is something completely different. This is something that goes beyond just basic level cancel culture. This is like a cancel culture on steroids, because not only did they shut Parler down, they scrubbed Parler from the internet. Like, they took Parler off the internet, so you couldn't even have the choice to choose Parler. And so that's what's happening with Mike Lindell right now. Last year, when am I still going? I'm not sure if I'm still going or not. Last year, when Goya, I don't know if you remember Goya products, they do beans and such, they came out in support of President Trump. There was a big cancel culture, you know, stop buying their products. But they were still on shelves, so you could still choose to buy their product. Same thing happened with Andy No not too long ago. I think it was last week. Antifa went down to Powell's bookstore here in Portland, Oregon, and they said that they weren't going to go. They were protesting. They weren't going to leave until Powell's Books stopped selling Andy's product. Okay, that's fine, but you could still get it. It like flew to #1 on Amazon's book list. So bad publicity has always been good publicity for people who follow you, for people who like your product and who have something to do with you. At least you still have the option to buy the product. With Mike Lindell at the moment, the option for us to even buy his product is being taken away. So that's super dangerous. I mean, that's more dangerous than them banning the president of the active president of the United States off of a social media platform. This is worse than that. You know, they're taking away our option to even choose to buy the product, because where do we get it? You know, it's a scary place scary time to be living right now. If we think this is going to get better, you know, as this email so naively put it, we're not headed for hell. Stop spreading death over this nation. Speak life. We aren't doomed for hell. We're not? I mean, I guess if you're on that side of the fence, no, it doesn't look like we're doomed for hell, because you're not on the spear end of the arrow right now. You're standing behind the spearhead, and we're the ones taking all the hits. So it doesn't look like it. But Dan Bongino brought up a good point when he was on Fox, I believe. He said famous last words before the French Revolution was, no, I was on your side. Yeah, you were on their side until they got done with us. Then they moved to you. So your time is coming. It's not if, it's coming. It's when it's coming, and it will come. And that's what's sad about this whole thing is the little people are getting stepped on, and we're all literally on the same playing field. We're all on the same playing field. We're all dealing with the same things each and every day. We're all being faced with the same censorship, with the same debt, with the same fear-mongering. It's all in how we choose to deal with it, how we choose to respond to it. And we need to respond to it wisely, you know. So those are the things that I wanted to talk about. It's my gigantic, I don't drink coffee. I'm not a coffee drinker, but this is my gigantic cup. Look how big this is. This is my hand. Like, this cup is huge, but it has tea in it. Mother's milk tea. So I don't know. I don't know how I have survived all these years, all these kids without coffee. But I just, I've never been a really big coffee drinker. But I love tea, and I can drink tea all day long. So, but anyways, it says, don't forget to be awesome. And so I'm going to leave you with that right now, today. Don't forget to be awesome, because you are just as important as any legislator, any congressman out there, any piece of the government. You're just as important. You know, they are corrupt. And I've been watching, what have I been watching? Oh, Law and Order SVU. The great show. Although I haven't watched it in years. I used to watch it a lot when I was younger. It's been on for 21 seasons, I think. That's a long time. So I used to watch it back when I was in my 20s. And as I started, like, later on in the seasons, and these last couple of seasons that were in 2019, 2020, tons of political stuff in there that I just had to stop watching. But the seasons before that, you know, there's always DAs and judges and corrupt cops and all these being arrested, and, you know, everything's being busted open. Everything that we hope to see in real life, it's being done on TV. And it's like, man, I really wish that that kind of stuff could happen. I really wish that we could see the Obamas and the Clintons and the Bidens and all of them, you know, the corrupt Supreme Court judges, and all of them be let out in cuffs and taken to prison. You know, I wish that we could see that. There was one, I'm just remembering, I looked this up when I was talking about the abortion, and the whole idea behind, how this black individual who wrote me the email says that there's white supremacy out there, and, all of that. You know, when Roe versus Wade was written, it was authored by a Democrat, and he was a white male. But at the same time, on the Supreme Court there was also Thurgood Marshall, who was actually the first black Supreme Court justice. And he agreed with the Roe versus Wade. So again, that just shows us even more so that, you know, racism, that shouldn't be our main agenda, because everybody, again, is on the same wavelength. We're all on the same playing field, and it doesn't matter what color you are. I'm so tired of the racist talk and all of that. It drives me nuts, because and there's never a day that, you know, I'm half white. I would never want somebody to tell my mom that she should be ashamed of who she is because of the color of her skin, or that she should apologize for something that she had nothing to do with. In fact, honestly, my mom, because when I was born, interracial relationships and marriage and all those things weren't, they were frowned upon. They weren't, in fact, I don't know if you know what Virginia versus Loving, let's see, when did that pass? Virginia versus Loving. I don't know if you know about this case, but it was a white man and a black woman who married in Virginia, and they were actually banned from Virginia in 1967. The U.S. Supreme Court, every single thing that I talk about will further validate that we are all on the same playing field. Okay? That none of us is more important than the next, and that we all have the same enemy, and that's our government. The Supreme Court ruled that the laws banning interracial marriage violated the equal protection and due process clauses of the 14th Amendment of the Constitution. So what happened was Virginia banned them from the state. They literally banned them from their state because they got married. They had an interracial marriage. They tried to hide it, but it was found out. They banned them from the state. They could no longer live there unless they were divorced. They had to divorce in order to stay in Virginia. They had children, this whole nine. So it was in 1967 when interracial marriage was finally made legal, and the state of Virginia apologized. It's just ridiculous, you know? It's just absolutely ridiculous. And, you know, we're all facing some type of struggle. And when it comes to my mom, she actually endured more racism while I was growing up than I did. My mom, a white woman, endured more racism than I did. And my experience with racism didn't even really start until I got to middle school. And the people who were the most racist to me were two black girls and their one white friend. Two black girls. I remember them very vividly. They were the worst. They were horrible human beings to me. And that was the most racism that I had ever experienced in my entire life. Was that my time in ninth grade. Ninth grade was the worst. So, you know, and it was by black females. So it just infuriates me that, you know, these kind of emails can be sent out to make people hate who they are, to be uncomfortable in their own skin, to promote this kind of stuff, and to blame an incitation of violence on a president who nobody thought was racist until he became president. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. The first 8 days of the Biden-Harris presidency has already been filled with tons of interesting things. They're going to codify, I don't know if you heard this, they're going to codify abortion, which means that they're going to, so codify is to arrange into a systematic code. Interesting that this is the word that they chose to use. They're going to arrange into a systematic code branches of common law so that even if the Supreme Court overturns Roe versus Wade, people will still have access to legal abortion. So that's what they're going to do. That's one of the first things that they're going to do, is to codify abortion so that it will always be legal. But I've said this for a long time. We're not going back on abortion. I mean, we've already crossed the line, way crossed the line. It's not going back. There's no way. I mean, it's just like we're not going back on this whole coronavirus thing. We've already crossed the line. And it was one of the reasons I was mad at Trump, because I'm mad that he closed us at all. He should have never closed us. I was really mad about that. But I think we saw, as time went on with him, that he had more and more pressure from the people and the elites that be. He had more and more pressure from the elites that be. And he wasn't the Trump that we initially voted in. He was, and he wasn't. There was a lot more pressure, and I wish that he had never closed us, because now we've crossed the line, and now Biden-Harris has, brought Fauci back on the scene. He's talking about wearing 2 masks, double up the mask. I mean, it's just outrageous. And I actually, have friends who have had allergic reactions to these masks because they're wearing them. It's what's the word I'm looking for? It's overkill. They're wearing them we're wearing them too much. There's nurses out there who are like, I wear masks to surgery every day, this and that. Yeah, but you don't also wear them the rest of the time while you're at work. When you get out of surgery, you take it off. You go do your paperwork. You do this, you do that. You don't wear them to the bathroom. You don't wear them to go grocery shopping. You don't wear them to the gas station. You don't wear them to the bank. You don't wear them to do all of these other things, to go get coffee. You don't wear them at a drive-through window in your car. You don't wear it in your car while you're driving. You may wear a mask during a 10-hour surgery once this week, maybe twice, maybe you have a surgery 5 times this week, but you don't wear it during the rest of the time in your life too. So it's like you can't even reason with these people. You can't even have a decent conversation with these people because lunacy has taken over. I mean, they can't see the basic ideas behind all of this don't make sense. You can't wear a mask 24/7 and expect people not to have be negatively affected by it. It's all crazy. Crystal says, I'm mixed too. My mom was white. My grandma was racist and has washed me with a copper. Oh man, that's horrible. Yeah, that's terrible. And the thing about it is, you said it's your grandma who was racist. True racism happened. And I did a video on this back after George Floyd. I can't remember if it was May or whatnot. After I'd done a ton of research, because, I was raised by the white part of my family. So I did miss a lot of the cultural things, and I didn't have a lot of the history, a lot of the black history, because, let's be honest, there's not a lot of black history in schools. The only thing that we learn in school is I have a dream. And anybody who disagrees with that is nuts, okay? That's still, to this day, the only thing that most people talk about come Black History Month is Martin Luther King. That's it. I didn't even learn about... I didn't even know who Frederick Douglass was. I didn't learn about Frederick Douglass until I was 38 years old. There's something wrong with that. But the true racism, the true people who were racist are past generations. And so, but a lot of that generation has died off. And again, it brings me back to the fact that we're all on the same playing field. This isn't 1820. This isn't 1920 when Black Wall Street happened. And I want to redo that video because I hate how slow I was talking. And I don't like the video in general. It's just like aesthetically, I don't like it. But it has, in my opinion, it has a lot of good information, and all of the information is real, and I believe all of the information. But at the end of the day, there's only one solution to all of that, and we're in a very different place today than we were then. So in 1920, things were much different, and a lot of that generation is dying or already dead. Or we have people like Joe Biden, who, he's kind of like the last people who are hanging on to that, because some of our grandparents were racist. I myself had a racist grandfather but after he had a stroke, he came to. He never did anything that was, horrific. I'm so sorry, Crystal, that you went through that. He never did anything that besides not wanting to be around us because it was embarrassing, during that time. But after he had a stroke, he really came around, and, we had a relationship to the best of our ability since he had a stroke and he could barely talk. And, so, but at the same time, he's dead. He's been dead now for, 20 years or more. How old am I now? Oh, even more than 20 years, like 25, 30 years. So, that generation is dying off. And again, we're all in the same playing field. We're all dealing with the same things every single day. We all have to get up and go to work and come home and cook meals, try and provide for our families, put food on the table. We all have to do these things. We're all being affected by the same exact thing. It doesn't matter what color you are. So, yeah, it's frustrating. Told I'm not black. Yep. I've been told well, I'm not told I'm not black until they find out that I disagree with the narrative. Then I'm not black. I'm black before that. But, Crystal, you and me both, every day when we get up and we look in the mirror, we don't see a white person. We see a brown person staring back at us, And it doesn't matter what we believe. That doesn't determine what our skin color is. What we believe doesn't determine what our skin color is. And like this email said earlier, that Jesus cares about these issues. Jesus does not care about what color you are. The thing that Jesus cares about is whether or not we're focused on him, whether or not we are giving forgiveness and moving forward, whether or not our heart is in the right place. Focusing on skin color is not being in the right place. Thank you, America 2.0. I was telling my son the other day that, I can't remember what he said. But I said, you look just like Daddy. I think Daddy is super handsome. I don't know if he said the kids are constantly giving us they're not compliments. Like the kids don't give us compliments. They say that we're old or we're fat, like we need to go work out. That's the innocence of kids. I guess we could call it hate speech, but we're not into that. So, yeah, it's tough. It's definitely tough. So, well, I have been on here. I mean, I'm sorry that it cut off and I had to do a second part to this, but I'm going to try to start being more regular again. I did have a scare there that my milk was going to dry up. I was super stressed out, and I just didn't take into consideration. It's hard because, let's see, she is number 8 for us, number 6 in our house right now, and sometimes I think I am better than I am. You know what I mean? That I have more energy than I actually have. And I had kind of a scare thinking that my milk was going to dry up at 4 weeks. And I was like, oh, no. So I literally was I was pumping every 2 hours on the spot and feeding her. And it was a rough week. But she gained 6 ounces in a week. So praise the Lord for that. A lot of prayer went into this. Too, had a lot of people praying for us, and so yeah, I'm gonna try and be more consistent, but also not every day, because it actually takes quite a bit to set everything up, and and I don't want to miss too many feedings or whatnot. So, anyways, thanks for joining me, guys. I hope that you can let me know if there's some topics that you want me to talk about too, or we can talk about together. I like talking with you. It's a lot more fun for me if we could, have the conversation back and forth. I was actually contemplating just doing videos and uploading them, but I like the interaction, and since I have the kids all day long, adult interaction is definitely something I love. No. Yes, I love nursing. Nursing is such a privilege, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. So I was devastated. There was a day that I was so devastated. I thought that everything was drying up. You know, when your hormones are kind of raging, you kind of see everything as the end of the world when it comes to that kind of stuff. So I was certain that it was all over. But thankfully that was not the case. Because I still got to Tharp. Yeah, Crystal. Well, you know, we all have our experiences, and I can definitely relate to a lot of them. So we can definitely talk about some of those things. 2 years. You know, I'm gonna try and go. The longest I've gone is about a year and a month and a half, maybe 2. I would like to go because I think she will be my last. I'm not positive, but just in case, I think I'm going to try and go to, I'm going to go longer, as long as I can with her. Things are really busy around here, so it is hard to go much longer than probably 18 months or so, but we'll see. I'd like to. So, yes, please hit the like button. Thank you, Pamela, for hanging out with me today, and hopefully I'll be on here soon, and let me know if there's anything you guys want to talk about. And don't forget to be awesome. I'll talk to you later.